Okay, so today we are first video of the new player guide. Today it's not really gonna be like what exactly you should be doing. This is more just a general guide of what servants you should be leveling up as you go through the campaign. Like all of these servants are servants you can pick up from the friend points. One exception though is Shufu. This is because she's JP only right now, so you're not going to be able to get her. But for JP players, level her, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So we're going to start with the sabers. A lot of these are pulled off my tier list, like some of the highest. Obviously, I'm not going to have her up, but obviously you should be leveling Mash because she can save your ass while you're going through the story. She can. You don't have to spend any currency ascending her. Besides, yeah, you don't have to worry about ascending her. It's just level her when you get the XP. And trust me, when you go through the story, you get a lot of XP these days. You should not have a problem like being able to get Mash to your current level cap. So, first off, we have Jason. Jason is a very, very solid farmer. Would I say he's like the best type neutral farmer? Absolutely not. He is a 1-star. He has 1-star stats. I'm also going to be talking about like Grail worthy, and is Jason Grail worthy? I would say yes. I think he is very useful for like lottery nodes in particular. If you give him like 2 or 3 Grails, like bring him to like level 80, his attack is going to go up a lot higher, and he's an art servant. He pairs with Castoria. The more levels you give him, the better Castoria's attack scaling will work with him. And another good reason you don't have to really worry about leveling his skills, it's really just this one for anything related to farming and or support. Because if you have the Herc, Jason can buff Herc up a little bit. Not anything like super amazingly like high buffed, but you can buff up Herc. And another reason, like we're not even going to talk about the buffed MP, but another reason to use him with Castoria, he gets stronger and easier to loop every time you he MPs. And if you put a Castoria MP in front of his, not only do you get more attack, but you also get more arts buff than you would have without it, thus making it much easier for him to loop. On JP, he got a nice buff, and now he drops 20 stars every time he MPs for 3 turns. So you can stack this up so that you get 60 stars per turn. Yeah, that's a little absurd for an art servant to just like flood the field with stars like this. So Jason is definitely a servant that you want to have leveled. He will make your life while farming so much easier. And farming is a lot of the game. He's going to be good in events. Very solid pick. Now, we have Caesar, who is the single target. I'm trying to do it so you can pick and choose which servants you would like to level based on what is on your account. Because you want to be using your 4 stars and 5 stars. They have better base stats. You can grail all these servants all you like, but they are still going to have lower stats than someone of a higher rarity. Like, just look at this. Level 120 Caesar is close to what a 5 stars attack is at level 90. Don't waste all your grails trying to make some of these servants actually compete with 5 stars, because that is so much investment. Like getting to 120 from a 3-star, I believe that's 4 grails to get to 90, another 5 grails to get to 100, so 9, and then I believe it's another 10 grails to get it to 120, so 19 grails. 19 grails to get a 3-star to somewhat comparable stats to a 5-star at level 90. Not worth. I would rather give those grails to a level to either like bring some of these servants in line or just give it to a higher rarity servant. TLDR, if you have another single target saber, don't worry about leveling Caesar. So his stats are all okay. He's a year 1 servant. So again, like this isn't, he's good. He's not someone I'd fully invest in. And that's another thing. Don't worry about leveling up your skills at this point in the game. If you're watching a video like this, you probably should stop leveling your skills, because you should be spending those upgrade materials on ascending your units. It's the same as like any other game. Skills will make your servant better. They're not there to make the servant. You cannot bust your farm with Melicin if Melicin is like level 50 or 70. Yeah, let's say 70 when she like first unlocks the ability to do it. Her attack will be so low, she's not going to kill a lot of the stuff. She will have problems killing the wave. So you want to use those materials to ascend your unit so they hit the thresholds they need to be able to get overkill and everything. Talking about overkill with Melicin is like the exception, but like really like Melicin farming, if you do not kill in the first wave, you are going to have very serious problems. But yeah, don't worry about leveling your skills. Servants are fine at 111. Some of them like double in value. That's not the commonplace anymore. Most unless it's like charisma is like 10 to 20%, that's when it doubles in value. But usually those those skills, you can just level up a little bit and it should be fine. The skills kind of don't matter. I mean, they do, but not really. It's his MP. The reason you level him is for his MP. It is very, very good. It hits very, very hard. And yeah, as a low star servant, he hits as hard as 5-star servants. If you get lucky. That's the thing. Gotta get lucky. If you have any way to buff success rate, Caesar will hit very hard consistently. But this is probably only going to be 1 turn because his skills. He still has tactics in 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets this buffed. I honestly wouldn't. For 8th anniversary. So for archers, you cannot have just Arash leveled. You can't, because he's not actually, he is here for farming. He is here to make your life easier when you are farming. He is someone you want to level the skills for. The 3rd skill and the append. The reason for this is it makes it so he becomes more self-sufficient and you're able to use less of your batteries on him to clear the wave. Excuse me. And more focus on like buffing up your main DPS, making sure they're able to get to their MP for the 2nd wave so they can do their stuff. He lets you 3-turn farm a lot sooner than you really should be. Like if you are struggling with refund for a servant, even with double cast Doria, like you're not able to like fully loop, put on Arash and just go for 2 loops, and then your problems should be solved. Arash does so much damage, very similar to Bima. His overcharge gives him more hits. Yes, so after you hit overcharge 2, you double the number of hits on his MP, so they just do more damage. He just does more damage. So again, you can put him in front of Castoria. I mean, put Castoria in front of him for an attack buff as well, and then he'll probably have a better chance of killing everyone in the wave. But he's gonna kill himself after, so you need to have an actual archer. Meet Uriel. She is probably the best single target archer in the game, simply because of what she allows you to do. She allows you to charm lock the shit out of male enemies, specifically male sabers. As you're going through the campaign, you might be choosing to use your own servants to start getting to know them, instead of like picking OP supports off your list. By the way, you should be using supports off your list as much as possible. You don't have to use tea time like I do. I do it because I'm always trying to work on something. If you want to just be focused on clearing through the story, play how you want. I'm not here to tell you how to play the game. And by that I mean, like, I'm not telling you press this button, press this button, press this. No, I'm just giving you a guide. I'm just giving you, like, this is what more experienced players would be doing at that stage. So she charms a lot. Basically this is how you learn how to use comma, like charm locking the shit out of people. Yeah, like 100% base chance. If you're able to loop her MP, you can keep spamming charm. And yeah, you can have multiple turns back to back of you just charging, charm locking someone. She does have your one hit counts though, so this is gonna be a problem. For Lancers, there is only one Lancer that you really should be leveling at this stage, and that is Cuckoo Lane. Lancer from Fate Stay Night. Setanta. There are a lot more demeaning names you can give this guy. But he is a literal cockroach. It is ridiculously hard to kill Cuckoo Lane. He has a guts, and he gets a higher attack buff depending on how low his HP is. And this is a very high uptime guts too. It's not like a three turn duration and then down for 4 turns. It is up for 5 turns, down for 1 when you max out the skill, and the attack buff goes up to 50%. 3 evasions that don't go away, and a defense buff as well, where if he loses the evasions, a heal. This is probably gonna get buffed. And then yeah, like, you kind of don't care about this stuff. It's nice that he reduces defense, kind of cool that he insta kills, but it's not gonna really come into play. The main thing you level Q for is his skills. He's very hard to kill, and he's probably like one of the better anchors you can get at the start of the game until you get Herc, and that is Herc with his Bond CE, meaning you hit Bond 10 with Herc. Trust me, like, Herc is not that good of an anchor if you do not have that Bond CE. So for riders, both of these are single target, and the reason for that is because as you clear through the story, including NA, after Lostbelt 6 is cleared, we get a free rider called Habetrot. She is AoE arts. She is literally one of the best farmers in the game because she is able to not only clear 2 waves and then kill herself so that a new servant comes in, meaning a single target DPS can come in fully refreshed, all their buffs ready to go, and then you can just like one shot whoever you're fighting. I can't recommend you leveling up any AoE riders because of Habetrot. She's just too good, and she will be available for everyone to summon, I believe, on the 10th if I'm seeing information correctly. So that's cool. So I'm going to tell you about these 2 single target riders that I think are worth your time. Magicardo, very good, but he runs into it's not a Melisson problem directly, but he does pretty much only have 2 skills. So both of the 2 skills he has access to at all times, he can use at all times. They're good. Attacking card buffs, and he taunts himself. This you can only use when you're 50% or less. it is a very high attack buff, very high crit buff, but he's gonna kill himself after he attacks. There is no way to get around this. It's a little different from Habetrot, because Habetrot can kind of just like kill herself whenever she wants. Like she can like sacrifice and like literally the turn after you do it. This you have to be low HP, so he's got to be getting hit a little bunch. But again, not that hard. He has a taunt here to get hit. Zemp is great. It's single target arts. Arts is like the best card type for a new player, hands down. You have so many supports for it, it's ridiculous. And then you have Castoria on your support list. That is always like, it is not hard to find a 10 Castoria to get you started. And then he gets card buffs on his MP. If you're able to cleanse his off, like even better, because he is an art servant, you would be using with Castoria. But I wouldn't be using Castoria MP like at the same time as Mangicardo. I feel like you should be doing Brave Chains because of how high these card buffs are. Like I believe Ilya's base for her MP's card buff is 10%, so Mangicardo is already double. And on JP, we have Mighty Chains. It's gonna feel even better. It is going to feel even better because Arts buff does proc first, so it does affect the MP. Ushi, her hits suck. Straight, they are so bad. This so bad. Her MP hits so bad, one enemy, but she hits very hard, and she functions pretty well, despite like when she came out. And she's good as a sub DPS or support. Like this is like just AoE MP gen, good. Charisma, that's a star bomb too, good. And she gives herself crit damage as well. Turn evasion, star gen. She's good as a sub DPS. Unfortunately, like she suffers from being a year 1 servant. If she came out now, like she'd be a whole lot better. But we do have Tyra, so like we kind of know what a good Ushi looks like. The Regan himself, Sasuke Kojiro. This is like, he has gotten so many goddamn buffs that is actually crazy. Like he is, I think he's about to get this like now. Or this is already, no, he already has this. So this is, Kojiro has all his buffs already. From what I remember. This man, like, he is legitimately a 1-star that you do want to grail if you want him to like be the absolute Oregon that he is. Because like 1-star stats is not gonna do that much for like something like this. But he can do some anchoring. Like pretty fun anchoring, honestly. Like just wish fulfillment, if anything. Crit damage, again, quick res down just by hitting quick hard. So if he's able to spam the quick, so he's like pretty much by himself, you're gonna do some good shit. And then he ramps up quick on his MP as well as a star bomb. Now, if quick is not your favorite card type, back to arts, and we have Hassan. I think she is like probably, I like her more than 100 Faces, just because 100 Faces, like if you want to heal, you have to get rid of all your buffs, which sometimes that's okay, but not all the time. She might be year 1, but her hit count looks great. It looks modern. Her skills have gotten numerous buffs. She is a dot servant, so that might not fit your fancy. But at least like she's pretty good about the dots. Like for being a dot servant, she's like really good about it. Like she does the job fairly well, and she has other buffs so that like the dots are kind of like cool that it happens, but like not needed. Her MP does have a chance to insta-kill as the overcharge, but everything else is like really good about her. I really wish they got rid of this part and gave her or added onto it and gave her an actual effect, but oh well. Them's the breaks. So we are almost at the end of this. Berserkers, you kind of can just like level whoever you want. If you plan on summoning for Vitch and Oberon, which I don't really recommend as a new player because they require like such high skill investment that you as a new player you're gonna have to cannibalize a lot of your resource, meaning all the resources you're supposed to be using for like lower rarity servants to like get them up, you're gonna have to like force feed into like your heavy farmers in order to get them to do the job. So that's kind of why I don't have Spartacus up here, because it's requiring you to have Oberon, who isn't out on NA, and B, if you're a new player, you're not guaranteed to have them. Like, the reason I can get away with putting Jason on a list like this as a farmer is because, like, Castoria, you have such easy access, and you do not need 2 Castorias to farm with Jason. I have done it multiple times with 3-star supports. Actually, sorry, we're gonna have to go back because Caster is a bit of a doozy to go through. Almost forgot because I just didn't have them open. There's just too many of them. So like the best Berserker, like low star especially, I would say is Lubu. He has the best kit out of all of them that does the true Berserker job, and that's red till it's dead. Super heavy damage. Triple Buster, lots of offensive buffs. Good madness enhancement. He doesn't have a buff MP, but like cool that he has like something like this, a low stun chance. It's something, and he always pierces defense. Like he's just a typical Berserker. Until you get like Herc or at like a more mainstream Berserker, like a higher rarity. I don't think of the spooks off the top of my head. Like a good spook. Galatea, but she's not AoE. Wait, is there not an AoE Berserker that's permanent? Huh. I could have sworn there was Shang Yu, but he's not Buster. Yeah, AoE Berserker, it's a rare node. You're gonna probably get like a more specific AoE servant before you get an AoE Berserker, but that's what I'm saying. They're just good in general. It kind of doesn't matter which one you pick, like just picking a Berserker and just like clicking the right cards is gonna do a good job, but I think Lubu just does it the best. Sufu, she is baby Castoria. Everything that Castoria does, Zufu can do. 2 is not as good. Not as much battery. The same gain actually, and not as much as an arts buff. But she does provide like a lot of other stuff that she works very well with Castoria. And she's arts, and she's crit support too, which is cool. She's both an arts looping support and arts crit support. Now, on to like talking about the casters. There is honestly so many of them that you can pick the level. So many of them. Kukulane, very good, but again, you're gonna need just Vitch this time. You're just and in some cases you actually don't need your own Vitch, but you are going to be required to have Kukulane maxed out skills and be using Atlas the entire time. You will have no freedom of mystico choice. If you have if you have Vich yourself, then you have mystico choice. If you don't, so still need Vich. Kind of why I don't want to recommend it, and it's also a Lostbelt 6 requirement for his farm, so that is asking too much for a new player. Anderson, very, very good. He can just enable like DPS at a very low level. His MP very good, provides a whole lot of buffs that you would want, and because he's a welfare, he's going to be at MB5. Buff chance is going to be high of you getting all this stuff. And each of these procs on by itself. So Anderson, very good. Worth paying attention to. For harder stuff, Paracelsus is someone I can't praise enough for what he enables for art and quick looping both. If any quick looper is not able to loop with double Scotty and Paracelsus, they are not meant to be quick looping, period. Like with Paracelsus, these quick servants should be looping 100%, or not 100%, but at least getting to 50. Some of them will go to 100% good. That means you can use other CEs with them, say Black Rail, but you'd have to be plug suiting him in, and that does require your own Scotty. But for Castoria setups, you can just use your friend's Castoria, and his refund, his ability to give MP gain and an arts buff, and also clear the first wave, is kind of nuts. Oh well, I'll just close this. Yeah, so arts buff, MP gain after the rank up very high, like almost double what Castoria gives. So that is the context. He gives double what Castoria gives for MP gain, which quick servants need. And then AoE wave clear. You're gonna have to Grail if you want him to do a lot more damage, and like fully do the wave clear, sometimes even type neutral, but that depends on your use of him. Last two. So Escapist, you may or may not have him depending on what banners you summoned on. He is very good for arts support in a different way than Paracelsus. He also gives the MP gen, but he also has battery, which Paracelsus does not have. This gives him a definite edge, but Zufu kind of does both these roles like fairly well, like well enough that when she comes out, you're probably going to start using her more than these two, just because like these two focus hyper specifically on parts about arts looping, while Zufu does all the parts of arts looping. He's still going to be very good, especially if you don't want to like max out Paracelsus, because Paracelsus needs a lot of mats. He needs a lot of bones and void dust. As a new player, you're going to be struggling with that stuff. So Escapist is an option, and then when Zufu comes out, she is not story locked. You can get her at the literal start of the game when she comes out with 7th anniversary. So if you're on JP, make sure you level Zufu. And then finally, I don't even think I should be like talking about him in a list like this. Chen Gong is a whale servant. Don't let anyone tell you different. He is a whale servant. The more 50% chargers, the more buffers you have, the better he is. But he is going to run through your supports like crazy. I personally am not a fan of using him for farming, simply because it is just inefficient. You're not farming much bond points. You're not farming really anything. You're just like farming through the mats. So if you're just farming, or it's farming through the nodes, sorry. So if you're just farming for mats, Chen Gong is fine, but you're going to be heavily restricted in what servants you can do to like just help him brute force through the farm. Don't get me wrong, he is very good for his role. It's just that he is like, if you're using him as a farmer, it's very whaley. You're going to need a better account. It is not something that a new player would use. However, if you want to use him as an actual support or a buster servant, he roids the shit out of buster berserkers like really heavily for a turn. Like this is Merlin's hero creation for a turn. Merlin's hero creation is one of the best buffs you can give for DPS, like crit DPS for a turn. He gives this to like pretty much any berserker, and he's permanently in the game. I would not blame you if you would level him just for this skill alone. And I mean, his other skills are helpful if you plan on using him as a support. They are helpful. It's just don't expect to use him for farming anytime soon. All right, this is a bit of a longer one, but this is just the start to the series. I'm having the videos like this so I can always go back, change videos out of the series depending on like meta shifts, just so I can keep this up to date over a doc, because Kadrath kind of had that idea and I don't want to. I'm not trying to steal his vibe. I'm gonna do stuff my own way. And I like his argument is like a doc is something that can be easily updated. I'm fine with making new videos to like update this. I'm not making one huge video, so that's what helps. I just like swap out the videos just like I normally do. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, comment, sub, all that good YouTube stuff. I'm putting this at the end of the video because I'm really bad about selling out mid-video. So thank you for watching.